Hey guys, it's Eclipse, and just recently I launched a new mini battle royale in Fortnite Creative, and it's called the Edge of Solice 1. The code to play is on your screen right now, so hop in game and play the Edge of Solice. And yeah, this mini BR is very, very unique. So yeah, without anything else to say, let's hop in game. Let's start our adventure at Spawn Island. Let's join a game real quick without all the mechanics in the way. So you start the game on Spawn Island, and you have 30 seconds to choose a portal. It's not revolutionary, this BR map doesn't have any, unique mechanics, but there's a lot of more mechanics than other maps that I've created. So we can go north here, and then you fly down onto the map, which I think is a really cool feature. Originally, Spawn Island was very small, but I updated it, I revamped it in the later stages of making it, and I think it's way better. Now, let's look at the actual map. On screen, you can see what it looks like. There's 4 biomes: a tropical forest, a mushroom forest, a musical forest, and then the burnt areas around the map. Let's first look at the mushroom forest here. Around the map, there are 5 areas of the mushroom forest, and all of those areas consist of a mushroom geyser, which you can use for mobility. As you can see, over here we have a mushroom geyser, and over in this other area, we have another mushroom geyser. And it just adds a lot of mobility to the map that, is very difficult to add in a 7th century themed mini BR. Now let's look at the main mushroom forest biome, and it consists of 1 POI, Truffle Tend, and it's taken over by the gnomes. And Truffle Tend is a farm for the gnomes where they grow plants and mushrooms, and they sell them at markets and stuff like that. They've been living here for a couple hundred years now, and I think they need a farm to outlast other creatures on the island. All the other mushroom forest areas look exactly the same as Truffle Tend, but without the gnomes. I love the aesthetic of the mushroom forest biome. I think the nature is just really well done. I think it's the best nature out of all the biomes that I've done for this BR map. So if you want to play it, make sure you visit one of these areas because they are so beautiful to look at and just wander around. Next up, let's look at the burnt areas. Around the map, there are a couple of burnt areas. In the story, Kai, the elemental master of fire, burns areas around some medieval kingdom bases, and this allows the musical forest to not wander around these areas, these base camps for the King's Guard. And I also like the aesthetic of the burnt areas. We have a POI here, Enclave Embers, which is a burnt area, and I really do like it. Walking around it, you can definitely feel like it's an area that's been burnt away by fire, and I like how I combined the burnt areas with these medieval camps. I think that just adds a nice touch to these burnt areas. Like the mushroom forest biome, there are also small patches of burnt areas around the map, and you can see them prominently on the map because they're surrounded by green. But yeah, I think they add just a unique diversity to the map instead of just wandering around the same forest. Then we go over to the main burnt area biome of the island, and it holds 1 POI as well, Reclaimed Realm, which is the main castle on this island that used to hold the realm's leader, the king, but was obviously taken over by Minim Crochet, the elemental master of music. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, trust me, in a few months or so, you'll know what the story is. You can also check out the launch trailer. It shows a bit of the story as well. But Reclaimed Realm, I love it. In one of my old maps, there used to be a POI called The Fortress, and it was situated on a hill, and it was a castle, and I think this is a better castle, per se, but I think The Fortress just looked a little bit better because it was on top of a hill. I liked that idea, but I wanted the Edge of Solice to be a little bit more flatter than usual BR maps because I have a lot in store for the future, so look out for that. Now we can look at the biggest biome on the island, which is the tropical forest, jungle, whatever you'd like to call it. And you can see it's a forest of green all around the map, and throughout it are different landmarks, different POIs, stuff like that, and you could just wander around here and find a lot of cool little Easter eggs, details, and secrets that you might have not seen to the naked eye. The tropical forest is also another biome that only has one POI situated in it, and that is Forsaken Folklore, which is taken over by the gnomes, and I love the aesthetic of this. It's just a nice little home for the gnomes. You know, they sell things, it's a market area plus a home. I just love it. It looks great just plopped down in the middle of this tropical forest. The gnomes have a lot of cool little just small buildings, landmarks all around this island, but in the future we're going to see a little bit of shake-up in who's taking over the POIs and landmarks, so you better keep an eye out for what's happening on the island throughout each week. And I know I can't show every landmark and every subtle detail, but I can show you an area, a landmark, called Breach Beach, and if you watch the launch trailer, this is the area where they storm the beach for the first time. And yeah, it's just a cool little detail that maybe you won't see in the first time you're playing it. Also, another small detail is a landmark called Mystery Market. If you are a fan of the Eclipse maps or just mini BRs in general, you know of a shop franchise called CNR holding Rocks, Cozy Carpets, and Nada Noms. So you can check that out. It's on the top area of the island. You can see it up here. Just come over here and you can collect some loot and have some nostalgic feelings. Now we can look at the musical forest, and this holds 3 POIs. The only biome that holds more than 1 POI, which is just crazy, but understandable since the musical forest is the main focal point of this mini BR map. The musical forest holds big mushrooms, purple trees, and the flora and nature of this is definitely just so stunning to look at night and during the day. You could just run around here and get lost because it looks so beautiful just running around. And there's so many cool and just unique landmarks. And you may be thinking, wow, how difficult may it be thinking of POIs and landmarks for a jungle mini BR? And it is really hard, but once you get used to making unique ideas and unique POIs, then it'll be an easy breeze for making different POIs in such a cramped and jungle-fested, area. Let's look at our first musical forest POI called Bewitched Burrow, and this is taken over by the gnomes yet again, and it's a cool POI. I've never really made a POI that has an underground area to it with water and waterfalls, but basically it's also a home to the gnomes. They live underground here and they have a river going through it, and I just love the aesthetic. I love the aesthetic to all the POIs and landmarks here. I think I did a wonderful job at making this island feel like it's been infested by jungle, but also still lived on by a couple of creatures. And above the underground area is another nature portion, and just pathways going along the nature, and it's just like that. Nothing too crazy from the outside here instead of the inside, but I still love this POI, and I can't wait to see what it has in store for the future. Our next POI is Seeded Spirits. Nothing too crazy going on with this. It's just a bunch of plants, flowers, stuff like that, but you can see the layout of the POI and why it was situated as a point of interest instead of a landmark. I don't really have much to say for it, but I can say that this is going to be changed all the way throughout the entire story for the Edge of Solice, so make sure you keep an eye out on this one specifically, because it will blow your minds what you see in updates to come. Then we have the main POI of the musical forest, and the main POI of this mini BR in general, and it's called The Heart. I got huge inspiration from the reality tree from Fortnite, and I've seen a lot of other people try and recreate it inside Fortnite Creative, but I haven't really seen anyone do it to the caliber of this one right here. Just looking at it from any area of the island just amazes you and shocks you. Walking around it, yes, there's not a lot of, there's no buildings, it's just really plants and nature, but the massive tree in the middle of the island really gives the island something unique and something crazy to look at. I feel like every mini BR should have one main focal point for everyone to just be amazed by, and I think the heart is this main focal point for the Edge of Solice. And I do love the vibes of it. You could see music notes floating upwards. You can see the flashing lights of the tree. It's just so beautiful. And let me turn it to nighttime to see what I'm talking about. We're at night now, and you can see just how beautiful it looks at night. Just walking underneath the heart, it's just so beautiful to do. I mean, even walking around with the nature that glows, I mean, it's such a mesmerizing place to wander around. Can't wait for you guys to hop in game right now and check it out for yourself, because it is really mesmerizing to follow the story and all the changes to the map. So yeah, that's my mini BR that just released, the Edge of Solice 1. If you guys want to support me, you can put in code ECL in the item shop, like and subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.